I want to talk to you today on the subject, don't worry about anything. Philippians 4 and verse 6 tells us to be careful for nothing. Don't worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. Most of us have seen and maybe have even worn that little lapel pin that says, don't worry, be happy. Now that's a nice saying, but it can be irritating to those who are facing tough times. The Bible does not just tell us not to worry, it tells us how to live a worry-free lifestyle. People often tell us, don't worry, but these words are often spoken with emptiness because they just don't know what else to say. The don't worry that people speak may be empty. But when God's word speaks, don't worry about anything. It's full of truth and power. His word is not a dead word, but a living word that, according to Philippians 4 and verse 7, produces the rule of peace that keeps our hearts and minds in every storm of life that comes our way. Worry is such a natural and common response to the threatening situations in life that we have accepted it as an okay attitude for believers. Our high-tech world has produced a highly stressed-out people. Some people worry because they don't have a job or they're fearful of losing their job. Some people worry about the time they think they're about to get ahead, their car will break down. Some people worry because they're caught up in a world that is out of control and they can't get out of it. They want to stop the world and get off, but it just won't slow down for them. The Apostle Paul, who is the one who told us not to worry, according to 2 Corinthians 11:22, verse 33, tells us that he was whipped, beaten, stoned, thrown in prison often, faced death many times, shipwrecked at sea, robbed, mistreated by his own people and Christian brothers alike, painfully weary, hungry and thirsty, and cold without clothes to keep him warm. It is this man that is qualified to tell us not to worry. He has been there, he has done that, and he said, don't worry about anything. Christians struggle between the worry attitude of the world that worries about everything and the supernatural truth of God that tells us not to worry about anything. Believers must not live in a state of denial in which we pretend that critical problems don't exist. But worry cannot prevail when we face the fact with faith. Here's an example of what I've just said. When I'm sick, I do not deny that I'm sick. The natural fact is I'm sick. But the supernatural truth is I'm healed. Supernatural truth is greater than the natural facts. God's word makes us the head and not the tail. Truth puts us above and not beneath. Jesus speaks peace in the midst of the storm. And 1 Peter 5 and verse 7 says to cast all your cares or worries upon him because he cares for you. In Hebrews 13 and verses 5 and 6, Jesus said, I will never leave you nor forsake you, so that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper, and I will not fear what man shall do unto me. Ladies and gentlemen, when you don't worry about anything, then your life becomes more worth living because Jesus lives.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Life is Worth Living with BJ Smith. We hope you enjoyed it, that you shared it with a friend, and that you've subscribed, because every Wednesday is a new episode of encouragement, enlightenment, and inspiration, reminding you that life is worth living just because He lives.